Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special Final Fantasy draft here on the channel. Today, we are joined by a member of the Pro Tour Hall of Fame. He is a Pro Tour champion, and he is also the People's Champion. It's Reid Duke. Welcome to the channel.
Hey, Nicolai. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, it is a true pleasure to hear your thoughts on the format and get to do the draft with you. And then I'll be playing the game solo. So if we win, it's all because you helped us draft a great deck. And if we lose, it's clearly pilot error. So you come out ahead either way.
Yeah, best of all worlds there.
Yeah.
I mean, this is I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan, like kind of a lifelong fan. So this set has a special place in my heart. Given how important Final Fantasy is to me, I would say I came in with like a high bar for my expectations of the set, and they've been met. Like I think this set's really great in terms of a fun environment, cool cards, kind of hitting the right nostalgia notes for people who do like the series. How have you felt about it?
I've really liked it. I think it's a great transition from Tarkir Dragonstorm, where there were like 2 decks to draft, to a set like this where all the decks seem viable. It feels like they really nailed the balance. And I've never played Final Fantasy, but I think that I've heard the same thing you've said, where people that like Final Fantasy have liked the game. I do like hearing things like there's the card Adalbert Steiner, and I just keep calling it Adalbert, and they're like, nobody calls him Adalbert, everyone calls him Steiner, stuff like that. So you'll have to point some of those things out during our draft. Are there any decks that you like in particular, or cards that you really felt comfortable with during when you were preparing for the Pro Tour?
Well, you nailed it in terms of balance. Like, I think every color and color combination is pretty well supported. My 2 drafts at the Pro Tour happened to be Grixis and then white green. So like literally, touched
Nice.
on everything there. But given my druthers, like my favorite archetypes are the blue red spells and black green graveyard, I'd say.
Yeah, those seem to be some of the strongest decks. And yeah, are there any, as we dive into the waiting screen, are there any cards that you think you like more than the general populace that we can keep an eye out for?
Well, my team TCG player, we were really high on the uncommon fire magic. And I was really grateful that the team kind of turned me onto that card, because it's not super obvious, right?
Yeah.
At the Pro Tour draft, I had a pick between Thunder Magic and Fire Magic, and I think like on day 1 of the format, if I hadn't practiced, I'd be like, oh yeah, Thunder Magic all day. It's just this really clean, easy to use removal spell. But in reality, like I ended up taking the Fire Magic, and it was really, really good in all of my rounds. So I was happy with that pick, even in retrospect. So that's an example of a card like, you got to get the reps with it and see how it fits into some of the key archetypes before you can really appreciate it fully.
Yeah, in the team dynamic, obviously you're a very skilled drafter. Are you one of the people that leads the limited portion for the team, or are you more of a constructed mind on the team?
Well, I would definitely not say I'm one of the leaders of the limited meeting, but I think one of our strengths as a team is we sort of get everyone's input. So, especially in close proximity between set release and the tournament, not everyone's going to have a chance to play with every card, certainly not play with every card, 100 times.
Yeah.
So getting to sort of communicate everyone's experience and opinions and conglomerate that to do the best that you can, that's sort of the key to it.
Yeah, that sounds like a great team dynamic. So we've got our first pack. We've got Vincent Valentine as a rare. And then in the blue-red space, we've got Shantoto. And then there's also like Thunder Magic and Ice Magic as cards. What do you gravitate towards here?
Well, I'm generally perfectly happy to start a draft with Thunder Magic or Shantoto. I first picked Shantoto at the Pro Tour, but I think Vincent Valentine is actually just totally busted. And, it's a 1-color card instead of Shantoto commits you to 2 right off the bat. So I'd be thrilled to take Vincent and then just be open to any of the black color combinations.
Yeah, in the lore, I'm assuming Vincent is a villain based on just looking at the art, though I have no idea whatsoever. Is he like a good guy in the game?
He actually is. I think he's sort of like an morally ambiguous character, but he is on your team. He's a playable character.
Oh, nice.
And he's kind of a fan favorite. He's pretty popular.
Yeah, I like having him in my deck, so I can see why you'd like having him on your team in the game. So following that up, the only black cards are Hekdai's and Namazu Trader. We have one of the Through Time cards, Godo Bandit Warlord, and another rare of Matoya. And then there's another Thunder Magic here. What do you like in this pack?
Oh, it's so interesting. I thought because there's two different 6-mana red Gilgameshes, so I mistook this as the other one. I can't say I've had Godo in the draft before. It reads like it's pretty strong, right?
Yeah, you get it, and then you get like a giant thing like a Lion Heart or one of your equipments that makes a creature.
Want to try that?
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, I'm the one playing the game, so you just get to watch us draft a masterpiece, and then just watch the like. Then the games will happen, and I'll play Godo, and it'll be incredible. And or we can live in that fantasy. If it's bad, it's my fault probably. I didn't draft around it or play it. But yeah, we have Godo and Vincent, so not a card from Final Fantasy, but I guess Gilgamesh is from Final Fantasy, so that's kind of neat. And then we have a pack that has Torgal, a Fine Hound, which is, I just think this card is awesome. And then there is Black Waltz number 3, which is a legendary creature, which is still kind of funny because it's named after like a song or something. I don't know. And then other than that, there's a Phantom Train, I guess, which is a card I haven't really played with. What do you like here?
This is a really tricky pick, and I could see this being a turning point in the draft. I would say maybe let's go with Black Waltz number 3. But just to talk through the options, like I could totally see going with Torgal, saying, hey, this is the strongest card. I'll be like black green with the option to splash Gilgamesh. I could see taking Phantom Train as like a powerful archetype specific card. Black Waltz, even though it's a black red signpost, it's definitely not one of the strongest of the 10 gold uncommons. But I figure, hey, we got a black card and a red card. Like sometimes in these spots, I just say don't overthink it, and take the black red card and see how things go. So maybe let's try that.
Yeah, it seems like it's working out so far because this pack has a couple of solid black or red cards. There's Opera Love Song, and there's Black Mage's Rod as the cards for those colors, I think. And then the other options, I guess, are like we could take a Scorpion Sentinel, but I don't, again, like you said, no reason to really deviate. Solid options.
Yeah, let's go with the Black Mage's Rod because, first of all, if we wind up doing the really focused black-red Wizards thing, that's going to be great. It also gives us our first equipment for Godo, for Gilgamesh, Godo, however you want to name him.
Wow, this is working out pretty well. There's a couple of cards here. There's the Dark Knight's Greatsword, and there's also a Saz's Chocobo, both of which are pretty solid in my experience. I think Chocobo might be better, but Greatsword plays better with what we have. And then there's also like Crossroads Village, Noctis, which I've never seen actually anyone cast, but he looks like a cool character.
Yeah, so let's go with the Black Knight's Greatsword based on context. I could see, like we said, if you had taken Torgal, then you get Saz's Chocobo, you're like, okay, now I have a nice sort of black-green core shaping up, and that would be a fine draft too. But here, Dark Knight's Greatsword, now already 5 picks in, I think we're pretty excited about Godo as sort of like a 6-drop bomb or value creature, and then all these job select equipment, they're triggering our black mages. So I think we got a nice little package here.
Boom. Then we get a pick 6 Garland, which is pretty cool. Nice little non-creature surveil payoff. Like, I assume this guy turns into a demon, so I assume he's probably a villain in the game.
Garland is actually, he's the big bad in the original Final Fantasy.
Whoa, and they made him into a 2-drop, the big baddie.
But yeah, I like this one even more than the Black Waltz, so very, very pleased here.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where they play it on turn 2, and you immediately realize that you can't ever interact with it profitably. You kill it, and it's going to be a 7-mana 5/5 flyer later, which is devastating. And yeah, I think this black-red deck really thrives on having these job select cards, which makes the Godo a really nice top-end card because you want to have a lot of the equipments anyway so that you can trigger your non-creature spell matters cards while affecting the board state. So yeah, in this pack, there's, I guess, Sabo Tender. I really like taking the lands here in these sorts of spots. What do you like?
Yep, I'm right there with you. I think at this stage in the draft, I would take the land. We can sort of talk about Fight On and Laughing Mad because those are both, I think, important role player cards. In black-red in particular, I like Laughing Mad. In blue-red, some of the blue card drawing is a little bit stronger and you just have more options. But black-red, you still want some card drawing. You don't have access to the blue stuff. So I think finishing the draft with like 1 or 2 copies of Laughing Mad could be really nice. But
Yeah.
hopefully we have a chance to pick those up later.
Yeah, that card, yeah, it's one of those ones where like other draft decks can't use it. It's like almost archetype specific in that way because blue red doesn't care about it as much, green red doesn't care about it as much. It's kind of a nice fit here. Here there's Warrior Sword as an option, and there's Shinra Reinforcements. I'm leaning towards the sword. Godo synergy.
I like that. Just keep the healthy number of equipment. So we have options for Godo, and then once again, the job select equipment, it does count as a non-creature spell, so that's pretty nice.
Mm-hmm. On the wheel, we're not really getting anything, so I guess we can ask: is the UFO? So in Final Fantasy, you go to outer space in one of the games, or is the UFO just like a random? It's like from just a random game. You just like have a UFO flying around.
Yeah, I think both. All of the above. Like there are some ones where you go to outer space. The Poo-Poo UFO, I'm not exactly sure. I can't remember what the deal is with that one, but
okay. Yeah, interesting. I don't think we're going to play it, but yeah. Now we see all the black cards wheeled. These were the only 2 black cards in this pack, and there's also a Lion Heart as well.
I'm going to let you round out this pack. I got somebody knocking at my door, so sorry.
Okay, perfect. All good. We're taking the wheel here. We're going to take Lion Eyes to go with the Godo, give ourselves some flexibility with what we go search up. And then, yeah, luckily, we don't have to make any complicated picks because there's no black or red cards. But yeah, Reid has been an excellent guest so far. He's not going to hear me say this, unless maybe he has headsets on, but we've been kind of crushing this draft so far. We've got like 8 great playables, some real high quality. Yeah.
That was just a quick one.
Yeah, you didn't miss anything. The pack did not have a single card to consider. And then we wheeled Opera Love Song, which is a pretty...
Cool.
A card, I think, honestly, the mode of getting 2 cards from it, like cast on your opponent's end step, has been better than I thought it would be. So I've actually been fine playing that one. Wow, we kind of getting all the black and red cards late, which is kind of nice. Not that Shinra's anything crazy.
Pretty nice find. Some drafts you have to sort of fight and claw for your playables or move off of colors, but this one was just pretty straightforward in terms of like, first pick a black rare and then goes pretty well. And hey, look, another at least semi on color rare Kefka.
The mythic Kefka. I mean, splashing is sometimes tricky and limited, but this card seems really worth it. I haven't gotten the chance to play it, but I assume you or someone on your team maybe played this card at some point.
Yeah, it's really nice. I mean, this is just sort of a dream limited card where like you play it, you get your value right away. Even if they kill it, you're ahead on the exchange, and then if it sticks around, like
the game just ends.
The game just ends.
Yeah, really nice way to start off the draft. It's funny because whenever I like see one of these cards, I'm always like villain or hero. It seems like one of those like if I was playing a game, it's like the secret guy like doesn't look like the main villain, but then you kill the guy you think is the villain. Then this guy kind of emerges. Is kind of how he looks when I just read the card, look at the flip nature of it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like he's somewhat starts as like a comic relief kind of character, but then you're like, oh wow, this guy is actually like insane in a very scary villainous way.
Yeah, okay, cool. So now that we have Kefka, does that make you just want to prioritize fixing a little higher, or does it make you want to just play a full 3 colors? Like, how do you kind of think about that when you have this card? Like, does the Emperor of Palamacia become an appealing card, or do you just like staying the course with like a suplex and then trying to splash Kefka in black red?
If it was like a blank pack with the Emperor, then we'd talk about some interesting directions the draft could go. But here, I would take suplex because it's like, hey, this card is just very easy. We know it's going to be great. I would say plan A, take the suplex, try to get 1 or 2 of the blue-red or black-blue towns and, splash Kefka into an otherwise strong deck.
Yeah.
If your draft was going a little more poorly and you had to branch into 3 colors, then you use your judgment. But at this point, we got a good thing going. Even if the draft ends and you have to not play Kefka, like that's not the end of the world. But let's just see how it shapes up.
Yeah. Here there is Battle at the Bridge, known as Fatal Push as well. It looks like the same Godo art as in this one, so Gilgamesh in action through the ages. And then there's a Vane's Treachery and another land as our main options.
Sure. So in pack 1, we took the land, and that's tempting here too. But I think the difference is that Fatal Push is like such a strong and unique card that I think it would be giving up too much power and efficiency to pass that. So here I would go with Fatal Push. But what do you think?
Yeah, I like Fatal Push too. I hadn't taken Fatal Push that highly because I'm like, oh, it just kills a 2-drop, and then like every time I had it, it was killing 4-drops, and the card was just insane. It's just Fatal Push in limited it's a card that gets play in modern for a reason, so it's a really strong card. And then we're just seeing tons of black and red cards as options every pack, which makes it a really interesting draft. There's Demon Wall here. There is Light Up the Stage. There's Call the Mountain Chocobo, Marlboro, even Barrett Wallace. Lots of good options here.
Yeah, tough one. I think it's pretty close between the top three. I would probably rank them like Demon Wall, Call the Mountain Chocobo, Light Up the Stage, but I'd be really happy with any of those three in my deck. So if you have a strong preference here, let's go with your
yeah, I think I like Demon Wall a lot in these decks, especially because we've got more value oriented. We don't have to just be like all aggro all the time. And especially because our 4-drop slot's pretty full of stuff, so I think getting Demon Wall's nice. Now there's GF Cerberus, which is a pretty sweet one. Like, just, we have a lot of I guess we have not that many. We have 2 instance 1 sorcery, so always good to check. Then there's like Light of Judgment. Yeah,
probably I'd go with the Cerberus here. I wouldn't mind ending the draft with 1 Light of Judgment, but Cerberus I think is pretty unique and high potential at this point.
Yeah. I think we have a lot of rares in our deck at this point. Like, I'm just like counting like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, we got 4 rares and like a bunch of uncommons, so pretty good start to the draft. Here there's Crossroads Village as another land that helps us splash Kefka. There's Sandworm, which can kill one of our lands to get an island to splash Kefka. There's Light of Judgment, Laughing Mad, which we mentioned, and Ahriman.
Yeah, tough one. I think I'm leaning towards the Crossroads Village. Like, once again, I would love a Laughing Mad here, but I think if you want to play the Kefka, like, this is the sort of Luis and Marshall on limited resources call it eat your vegetables kind of pick. Where it's like, all right, if I want to get the good outcome, like, I really have to spend my picks in a disciplined way and just pick up the lands. Yeah,
I know that you've teamed with Luis in the past. Is that a obviously different experience than like listening to limited resources, but is he still like, does he often like lead the limited portion for your teams that you've been on with him?
For sure. Yeah. Luis is awesome drafter, like awesome leader in terms of getting us to helping us to figure out the format.
Yeah. Awesome to hear. Now there's Blazing Bomb. We have some cards that would trigger that. There's Monk's Fist. Nothing crazy here.
Yeah, my guess is that none of these will make the final cut, but Blazing Bomb's probably the closest. That's a perfectly fine playable card in a red-based spells deck. I think you just don't have quite the shell for it, but decent card.
Yeah. Now there's Sword or Fight On, I think, is our main choice.
Yep. I would not take Coral Sword for this deck, even though it's a pretty strong card. I don't think it's like quite their best fit. And then Fight On maybe makes the cut. If you were playing best of 3, at least it'd be a strong sideboard card.
Yeah.
But having 4 rare creatures, like getting a second shot at some of your best cards, that's a really nice quality.
Yeah. It's funny because when I look at these cards, I really like looking at the flavor text. And I imagine as someone who's played the games, the flavor text is even more satisfying for you. But just like, it's just very cool to see. I kind of hope that they took like quotes from the game for flavor text. That's like my...
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what a pack. We wield everything. We have all the options still. I assume this might be another eat our vegetables moment, though.
I think so, but now, the first time I was like, don't worry, we'll get another Laughing Mad. Now at the point that we've passed 3 of them, I'm starting to go like, uh-oh, like,
But that just means nobody else needs them. Unless someone's hoarding the Laughing Mads. If someone opens another one, who's going to need a 4th Laughing Mad? We'll get one in pack 3. It'll be the dream. Oh my gosh. Boom.
Oh, amazing. I think that just totally tied the deck together. I was like, I thought the one fail case for this deck would be like kind of not getting the card draw to make things run smoothly.
Yeah.
But the 14th pick Laughing Mad, like, all right, now we got this one. I'm happy.
Yeah. All that we needed was Laughing Mad. It wasn't the Kefka. It wasn't the Godo. It wasn't the Vincent, but the Laughing Mad last pick got us there. And now we've opened Arden the Usurper, which is kind of a messed up card. I don't know if you've gotten the chance to play with this one, but it kind of ends games.
Yeah, I have had the pleasure. It's really good. Now, your deck's great. It's kind of a spells-based deck. I actually think there's some world where like Overkill winds up.
You think we should take it?
Strong discipline tick, but I would take Arden. I just, for me, like, I just can't resist. When they put the opted rare in my pack, I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna take it. Like,
yeah, I'm similar.
Maybe I'm 2% like off here, but the card that you
Yeah.
play it and wins the game. I just can't resist.
Yeah, I got one like fifth pick the other day, and like I wasn't even playing black, and it was like pack 3, and I had like 3 black cards, and I just like, okay, I'm switching. It's just so messed up. Arden just does it all. You just play him and then just win the game. It's like I can count on like one hand the number of games I've seen Arden come into play and then not win the game. It's kind of crazy.
Totally.
This pack is a lot worse. Probably a warrior sword. We don't need a monk's fist, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, I would take Warrior Sword. I think your deck's pretty strong. You're ahead of schedule unplayable, so you might not wind up using any of these, but Warrior Sword is the closest, I think.
Yeah, and now we have another really good pack. Lots of tough options here. There's Garland, Black Rod, Vane's Treachery, and Crossroads Village.
Yeah, boy, that is a tough one.
I like Garland, I think, but that's just my initial instinct. Vane's is also really good.
I was wondering if this is a spot to get greedy and try to wheel the Garland. Usually I'm not the type of person to do that, but given how late you've gotten some of these black-red cards and the other strong options, would you ever risk it?
We could risk it. It would be so satisfying if it worked out. And Vane's Treacheries is really good. I think that's the other option, right?
Yeah, like take Vane's Treachery, and if you can get any one of the other cards that you mentioned out of this pack, I think that's like a huge win, getting 2 playables from that pack.
Yeah. Now there's an interesting spot because Tonberry kind of fits our deck, but Blitzball also helps us fix and ramp for Arden. And then like Marlborough could help us hit land drops for getting to 8 mana. So there's a few good options here.
I like a Blitzball.
Yeah.
Yeah, helping you get that Kefka in without needing to play too many basic islands. And then hey, I mean you do have a bunch of legendary creatures. Like what do you got? 7 or so?
I think our first 3 picks were all legendary creatures, and we've only gotten more from there. I must say, Tonberry's art is hilarious to me. It just looks like Flubber. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, but it just looks like one of those little, like, adorable little jello creatures. Here, there's Cornered by Black Mages. These remind me of Jawas from Star Wars. Like, just like random little dudes that kind of cause some chaos, but I've never played the game, obviously. But that's an option in our pack for sure. And then there's like Blitzball number 2 if we wanted that.
Yeah, I'd go with the Cornered by Black Mages.
Yeah. Do you play it in every deck, or do you just play it in your more like aggressively slanted decks?
I have definitely cut it before. I think it's like a really strong card when it works. And I suspect it will make the cut in this deck, but I have cut it before. Like if, say you're green black and it's like your only removal spell, it's a little bit awkward, but kind of the more removal you have, the better it gets, because you can just sort of stack removal spells and accumulate that damage.
Here's Thunder Magic or Summon Anima, but I think Thunder Magic's great, so
I agree.
Assume we want that one. I think this deck really came together nicely. I mean, we already have 2 Warrior Swords. We probably aren't playing both of those anyway, so might as well get more options. I think the lands are all really cool too. Like the design on these they're sweet.
Totally.
Like it's kind of fun because like when the Lord of the Rings set came out, like I knew all of the references, and this one it just feels like a normal. Oh my gosh, we didn't quite wheel the Garland, but we got another one, or we could take Prompto, but I have to imagine Garland's better.
I wouldn't take Prompto. I'd actually be like between Garland and the land.
Yeah. You want to take the land or the Garland, do you think?
I don't know. I guess take the Garland, be safe. But I think if you do wind up wheeling the other Garland, you'd probably rather have the land than the third copy.
Yeah, you're right. We should have risked it for the biscuit. It's all greed all the time. It would have worked out. It's like starting to get to the point of the draft where we're like, okay, we're almost there, but like there's that one pack that had like 5 good cards for us, and I think it might have been this one.
No, we didn't wheel it. We didn't.
Devastating.
Wheel there, so.
We got the second Garland already,
but we did get the second Garland also. So
yeah,
sort of a consolation there.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have 2 Garlands, 1 Vane's Treachery anyway if I was choosing. So, getting a third Garland just because it's legendary would be a little tricky. Fully recovers HP and MP. Is MP like magic power or something?
Magic points, hit points.
Oh my gosh. Last pick Summon Anima. That's kind of crazy. Oh my gosh. This deck seems really, really strong.
Yeah, I mean, the power level's through the roof. I think compared to your sort of like archetypal black-red wizards deck, you're a little bit light on spells. That's why I'm really happy to have that Laughing Mad.
Yeah.
But I mean, the high highs in terms of these rare creatures is outrageous.
Of all the cards in our deck, the Laughing Mad last pick is maybe the most satisfying one. It was like, gosh, are we going to get one? We were debating it. It's like, you gonna see one? So we have a few cuts to make. I think initially there are some cuts that are really easy to make, though. Like, we aren't really a Blazing Bomb deck. We aren't going to need a Hill Gygas, probably. I'll move over the cards. We probably don't need 2 Blitzballs, don't need 2 Warrior Swords. Q-Trib is kind of just bad. We don't really have graveyard synergies for this. Phaidon might not be a good fit. Ahriman is debatable. Love Song, we have a lot of expensive cards. Those are kind of the cards that initially come to my mind as potential cuts. This guy could maybe be a cut, though. It's kind of cutesy with this guy. But yeah, what do you think? What are your like initial cuts that you like making here?
I think you correctly highlighted a lot of these sketchy ones. Honestly, can you scroll over the GF Cerberus?
Oh yeah, GF Cerberus. Yeah, so it cares about instants and sorceries. We can double check our count. Okay. We have 6 instants, 2 sorceries right now, but we're probably going to cut some.
And it's like you really want to have 2 of them to copy, like both on chapter 2 and chapter 3. So I think that one might actually be an underperformer given the way the deck actually turned out. Yeah,
and it eventually suicides itself, so it's gonna like not last. Oh, Monk's Fist, obviously a potential cut. That card's not great.
Can go.
Let's just cut that guy right off the bat. I don't think we really have. We have a little bit of graveyard synergy with the Laughing Mad and the 2 Garland. So like Shinra could be a pretty reasonable card to play. I don't think we need Hill Gygas. We have like a Marlboro doing similar things. I guess Summon Anima could be a potential cut. But I kind of want to cut like Warrior Sword. I don't love Ahriman in this deck. We don't have a ton to sacrifice to it.
Yeah, cut that one.
And then we just have to make 2 more cuts.
Shinra reinforcements.
I think Blitzball can make the cut here to help with our Kefka.
Yeah, so you want to play exactly 1 Blitzball. I'm kind of on board with that.
And then we maybe just cut the Cerberus.
Actually, you know what? Maybe this could be a 2 Blitzball deck, because you have the 8 drop and because your deck's really powerful. I was gonna suggest 18 lands, but maybe like 17 lands, 2 Blitzballs.
Yeah, and then
and then you only have to play like 0 or 1 island.
Yeah, we get away with 1 island and then play an extra whatever our extra color is. Yeah, black. So we play an extra swamp or whatever. Yeah, I actually like 2 Blitzballs here. Helps us with this. Helps us cast Kefka like on turn 4 even. And then
honestly, some games you'll go like turn 2 Garland, turn 3 Blitzball, get the free surveil, attack. Sack right away. Like that's a totally fine thing if you're Blitzball
for sure.
Flooded.
So yeah, I think we can cut Opera Love Song too because we have a lot of expensive cards. So flipping them seems like it could be clunky.
Such a good point. That based on the mana curve of your deck, you might not want to play Opera Love Song on like turn 3 for risk of exiling some of your powerful top end.
Yeah, and then Phaidon doesn't seem insane in our deck because we don't really fill the graveyard. Cerberus, though, does seem a little weak with only 5 instants and 2 sorcery, so I kind of want to cut the Cerberus.
The Cerberus. I'm actually okay with 1 Phaidon. I know that your creature count is pretty low, but the quality of your creatures is so high.
Do you like Lionheart?
Those games where it's like, okay, I play Kefka, I get the value, you have to spend your best removal spell on it, then I just pick it up with Phaidon, and they're like,
it's just game over.
It's just too much.
Yeah. Do you like Lionheart in this deck, or would you think like a Shinra Reinforcements would be better, or something like that, or like a Warrior Sword that like makes a body? Warrior Sword's probably better than Lionheart.
Can you scroll over the Godo?
Yeah. So it enters. We search our library for an equipment card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle, and when it attacks, untap it, and all Samurai. There's an additional combat phase. Oh, I guess if we got into 3 mana 3/3 equipment, it could have been a Samurai. That's kind of funny. So I guess getting Warrior Sword might be better than getting Lionheart. Then we also have Dark Knight's Greatsword we can go get, which is similar to getting a Warrior Sword.
Yeah. Yeah, generally like that card's gonna be pretty strong whenever it hits the battlefield. So you don't have to play like bad cards to enable it, but Lionheart and Warrior Sword are both like perfectly fine serviceable cards. So I wonder if you use the Godo as like sort of a tiebreaker here.
We could cut Summon Anima.
Do you have anything that pays you off for casting 4 or greater spell? Not really. Right?
No, not any of them. No.
So just a couple Garlands, Black Waltz, couple Black
Yeah.
Mages.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I like what you've put together here. I think in terms of marginal cards, I'm happy with the Blitz Balls. I like playing 1 out of 2 fight ons. I like how you picked the Marlboro, but not the Hill Gigas. So yeah, just like basically choosing what you like better between Warrior Sword and Lionheart. I think that's
Yeah, I think I'll cut the Lionheart because we don't really have time to equip that anyway. I think we'd rather just affect the board.
Not too many like cheap flyers, so that makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on as a guest. It's been great having you. I'll be playing the games by myself for folks too watching up, so stay tuned for that. But Reid, if people want to find more of your stuff, I mean, they can obviously cheer you on in the Pro Tour and World Championships. I know I will be doing so. They can find your articles on TCG Player. Is that where they are these days?
Yeah, exactly. Channel Fireball and TCG Player have merged. So, you find the Channel Fireball content on the TCG Player website. Same thing goes for the YouTube channel, but yeah, that's pretty much where you find me. Thanks for mentioning it.
Awesome. And then, like, I know you wrote a tournament report for the Pro Tour that you just played in, so I'll put a link to that in the video description as well. But thank you so much for coming on as a guest. This is such a sweet deck. I mean, we have infinite rares, infinite value, and I can foresee a good result in the future. But yeah, thanks for coming on as a guest, and I'll see everybody else in the games.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Before I get to the games, I want to give a huge shout out to all of the people who support my channel and my work at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. If you have been enjoying my videos, if you like it when I bring on special guests like Reid Duke, if you've been finding my videos helpful, educational, entertaining, all of the above, then Patreon is the way to give back to the channel, help me make more videos going forward, and gain access to cool bonus content like my card-by-card tier list, my format thoughts document, and other cool rewards. I want to give a special shout out to those patrons who support at the credits level. It makes a huge difference. And without further ado, let's get to the games. Welcome to round one. And as we keep a fantastic hand, I just want to say thanks again to Reid Duke for being a fantastic guest. He really is one of the best Magic players in the world. And so getting to hear his opinions and thoughts on Limited is a true pleasure. We already have some decisions to make here, though. I mean, also, yeah, be sure to check out Channel Fireball's YouTube channel. Reid posts videos there. His Twitter, he posts about Magic stuff sometimes. He also writes fantastic articles, some of the best articles ever written. I've covered some of them in my article breakdown series. He's really one of the players that taught me a lot of how to play Magic. So because of this tap land, I'm not sure, because I kind of want to Fatal Push this, but I also want to play Garland on turn 2, and I also want to play this on turn 3. I'm just going to play the Fatal Push here. Save myself the life total, because if I draw a swamp, it's irrelevant. Okay, Dragoon's Lance, sure. And it did turn out to be irrelevant. We get the Garland down. And that was the reason I made the play, is because there's a certain number of swamps in the deck. Gallicat, sure. We will make them sacrifice a creature. We get a Surveil. We do not need it. Another land here. And just because we got the deck drafted by a Pro Tour champion, or helped us draft by a Pro Tour champion and all this stuff, doesn't mean it's guaranteed to win, but it does give me a lot of confidence that it at least has some good things going for it. Okay, them not having another artifact here is huge. Okay, that is a great, great, great draw for us. So now we have another decision. This is where having a Pro Tour caliber player would be helpful, but I think we suplex the Dragoon's Lance. The reason for that is they only have one card in hand. If we do that, they'll only have one artifact for this guy, and we have other removal spells we can draw that can deal with that later, even though Zach Fair is an issue. But the Dragoon's Lance is going to be a huge issue for us. It was also super fun hearing just Reid's thoughts on, like, Blitzball. I think we do want that, actually. On Final Fantasy in general, because he is a fan of the games, as you could tell. Yep, we will pass turn. We can hold the ground off, at least a little bit. Another Magitech, unfortunate. That is going to turn on the Gallicat, and regret is strong here. Wow, they don't have another artifact. Interesting. Okay, well, we're going to play Blitzball. This way, if we draw Kefka, we can use it. We also get another Surveil with Garland. Gets us more mana towards like a potential Arden draw. Ooh, and we get to mill over Laughing Mad. Huge. Pure value. Nice. I don't think they have another Magitech Infantry to go get. Like, if they had a third one, they would have used it to deal 2 extra damage. Right? No, they just left my life total higher for no reason. Interesting. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think we might be on Arden or Bust territory here. Really need that life gain to help stabilize us. I think we block here. And then they sack Zac Fair to protect it. And then we bring this back as a 5/5 flyer. So Garland essentially traded with Zac and then gives us a 5/5 flyer for next turn, potentially. I think this is our only line. Even if they have a kill spell, we just have to accept that they have a kill spell and then that we lose the game. Sephiroth's intervention. Yep. Unfortunate. So now we take 3, 5, 7. So if we top deck Arden, we could still be alive. No longer. Well, this game was just unfortunate in how it worked out. They had a lot of evasive creatures. They drew the Magitech. If they hadn't drawn Magitech Infantry, I think we were going to be very favored in this game, because that allowed their Gallicat to be a giant flyer. Unfortunate, but that's how it goes, and I'll see you next round. Welcome to another round. This is a great hand. The Blitzball doing major work here, making this one keepable, because we'll be able to cast Garland later. We're going to lead with Demon Wall here. It blocks the White Mage staff. We were going to lead with Demon Wall anyway. Try and get the Surveil out of our Garland. But here we're going to play Demon Wall into Blitzball into Garland, Black Mage's Rod, I think. Though I guess now we can go Blitzball number 2, Garland. Interesting. So I assume they might have a kill spell here. Ooh, Kefka. This is definitely a nice chance to get Blitzball number 2 down then. Get red mana here. Play our Garland. And then we can play Kefka on the following turn. Oh, right. They revealed that card. Whoops. That was my bad. Okay. Delivery Moogle. Another Coral Sword. Interesting. Okay. Yep. Each player discards a card, then draw a card for each card type discarded this way. Let's discard the Black Mage's Rod. Wow, they discarded their... I thought they'd discard a land for sure. I was trying to play the game there. So we'll draw 2 cards now. Arden, okay. So next turn we'll play Vincent, cornered by Black Mages. Perfect. So they used their removal spell on that, so Arden can live. And now we just have to survive. Play Vincent. Play... No! We were so close. I'm realizing now that I'm just dead to them equipping. Wait, why would they do that? I guess I'm dead anyway? No, I'm not. If I draw a land, I'm alive. They could have just equipped both equipments. This has been really unfortunate games, I think. We're actually still in this. If we draw another kill spell, watch and learn. No! We can fatal push one, but we can't kill the other. Unfortunate. 2 losses. Okay, to be fair, I did mess up the demon wall block. That was bad. Also, if I discarded a land, I would have drawn an extra card. But yeah, that's unfortunate. They could have killed us last turn by just equipping the Coral Sword. I was tapped out. Okay, we're 0-2, but we'll battle back. This deck is really good, I swear. And yeah, see you next round. Welcome to round 3. We are going to win a game, and this will be the one. I believe. Okay, so far so good. So far so good. Do they have Syncopate? Ambrosia Whiteheart. Sure. If we draw a land, we can go Vincent Valentine, Thunder Magic this thing, make Vincent huge. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to kill Ambrosia now. We have this thing. We want to take as little damage as possible. And keep the board clear for our cornered by black mages. Okay. Blitzball. See, these are all options that you have as a gameplay perspective, but I like keeping the board clear and then slamming Summon Anima next turn. It'll refuel us, maybe bait some removal out. Vincent's really, really strong, but you have to untap with it. If they have a white Auracite, they might have to use it on Summon Anima. Booyah. But like now they're like, okay, I have to kill Summon Anima, and then I just jam Vincent. Yep, white Auracite is used. What the... What just happened? But they must have some way of flickering this thing. Okay. Sure, that's kind of crazy. We will play Vincent now, especially with the Veins Treachery to potentially kill something and grow him. Especially because they just used white Auracite as well. Sure. They have another exile effect. I'm feeling good about this game. I feel like we could win this one. We can win it. Yes. Oh my gosh. That's perfect for us. Oh my gosh. Take down Torgal, grow Vincent. Oh, never mind. It doesn't grow Vincent. That's hilarious. We will transform it. It's just way safer to transform him. We will sacrifice one of these to draw 2 cards. I don't think we want to sacrifice both. Okay, never mind. We're sacrificing both. Because we do not have... We will take out their last spell. Boom. Oh, we are in such good shape now. Dark Knight's Greatsword equipped to Vincent is insane. It's almost like his sword or something. Waltz. Trying to do max damage here while we have the chance. Play this. Play the Greatsword. Ping them for 2. I know they're gonna use the Lysae, but this way they're forced to use it every turn. If I don't do this, they could have tapped Marlborough and saved the life. I think the damage from this is better as well, and also just like, yeah, trying to force through as much damage as possible. The Blitzballs were really good there. Shame on you. No. Play this guy. Play this, Surveil. Don't need that. Definitely playing the land because Arden is a card in our deck, and that's an 8-drop. I know we have Laughing Mad, though, so I guess that is also a consideration. Let's just play the land and pass. Especially because we might want to be able to do something like equip this, play a 3-drop, and this costs 5. Boom! We're on the board! I never doubted it. This deck is incredible. We never are going to lose again. All the way. It's not about winning or losing, though. It's about making the correct plays at the correct time. That's what I like to refer to. Reid Duke mentioned eating your vegetables. When I make sure I'm just focusing on making the correct play at the correct time, I just call it being Reid Duke. It's the mindset. And so, yeah, exciting stuff. I'll see you next round. Welcome to another round. My opponent's on a mulligan. We are going to keep. I'm liking our odds here. We've got Vincent once more. I'm just going to jam him on turn 4. Wow, Blazing Bomb. Okay, Prompto's going to die. Let's just play Garland, because Garland can stop Blazing Bomb from attacking and probably trade with Prompto. And then we'll get it back later. Blitzball would be a solid draw here. I'm always afraid of Shantoto in these situations. So we're going to kill Blazing Bomb with our Suplex, even though cornered by Black Mages is more mana efficient, because this can kill like whatever they play next. They've got to have a kill spell, right? They do not have to have a kill spell. Booyah. I think just jamming is always a nice little strategy. Just make them have it. Yep, transform. Transforming just keeps it safe, because then they have to like deal with it twice. Sure. Sure. Wait for them to surveil before we make our decisions. Okay. Kill the GF Cerberus. Because this way, if we do draw a land, we can just jam, summon Anima. Instead, we can just play this. Godo! We don't have stuff to get back right now. We'll just use Laughing Mad. Discard Fight On. Ping them. Okay, play this. Attack for 3. Godo can get a good card next turn. Boom! We're back to an even record. We studied the course. We didn't play cowardly. Sometimes I would be a coward and not play Vincent on turn 4, but sometimes I just have no spells, so you just have to be willing to do it. Let's go. See you next game. Welcome to another round. This might not look like a keep, but it is, because the Marlborough gets us a swamp. And if we just naturally draw a swamp, this hand is great. It's a little bit slow, but Arden is a really good top-end threat. We know we'll have something good to get back with it. Against a black deck might be a little bit, give us more time. Oh yeah, that's what we want to see with this hand. We just want as much time as possible to hit our land drops, play our cards out. Every draw step, we're just hoping for a land. Unfortunate. So far, not so good, but it's okay. Play Garland. Easy block for us. We have a backup Garland. Okay, sure. Play another Garland. I guess we could have played Demon Wall there, but Demon Wall is going to be able to activate at some point here. Rat, sure. They could have Counterspell up. Okay, we don't need the sword. We just need more lands. So we really, the reason we surveilled is because we really want to just jam the Anima as soon as possible. And now we have a good blocker for Rat. We have a good blocker for Lock Coal. And if we can play the Ard and the Usurper, we're going to be in great shape. Okay, that's a great card. Sure. So they're 2/3 of the way to the treasure on this guy now. Okay. We'll keep any lands on top. Maybe I was supposed to take the hit for 2 from this. The Azmet's kind of a problem. Yep. Can't afford to block. I have to force him to use removal. Commander Ninjutsu? Oh my gosh. So I take 2. They have ice magic now. That's a problem. Could be worse, though. Dragoon's Wyvern, sure. So I have 7 mana, so I could bring back Garland. They'll just ice magic it. Fight on, okay. I'm not liking my odds this game, unfortunately. Though one big Arden hit could make the difference. Great sword, okay, okay. It's a little surprising to see them not do that on... I'm really looking for a kill spell. Getting rid of Laughing Mat is pure upside. So they get rid of a 1/1. But I get another chump blocker. This is where the turntables, or the tables turn, as they like to say. So Ice Magic is down. We have 2 draw steps to find an Ardent land. Oh my gosh, what a rip. So they're holding up 3 mana for maybe a counter spell of sorts. Syncopate. Okay, so they're all tapped out. This is our best chance to strike. Okay, so we do this. Target a creature. Sacrifice the Black Mage's Rod, I think. Keep that on top. And now they can't even play a creature, because if they play a creature, my summon animal will trigger. So they're a little bit locked out. A lock goal. Summon Anima doesn't usually get to chapter 3 though, so they might not be expecting it. Boom! What a comeback! What a comeback victory! I did not think we could do it, and then our Summon Anima drew us Vane's Treachery and Fatal Push, and those allowed us to get it done. We've guaranteed at least a 50% win rate. Let's go! I always feel like if I don't win with the decks with my guests, I've let them down, but now we have at least not failed. Yes! Though, of course, it's all about making the correct play and letting the results come as they may. See you next round. Welcome to another round. We're keeping this one. We've got all our colors. We've got Laughing Mad, the all-star of the draft. It makes me so happy that like Laughing Mad is like such a mid-tier card, I think, or to oftentimes not even what you want in your decks. But like the level of excitement we had to get this card into our deck in particular was very high, which makes me happy. We've got our Godo. So we'll just get rid of one of our lands here. Beautiful. Decisions. I kind of want to just jam this guy as soon as possible. But we'll see how this works out. Potentially badly. Oh, if only we'd kept the deal 2 equipment in our deck. Oh, we're taking action. Cloud of Darkness? No! I can't really... I need more kill spells, I think. So if Garland can hit them, I can sack the Blitz Ball and then use Fatal Push. Ninja Blades, okay. Oh, I can't even Fatal Push this because it's a 5-drop. Now that's a card I can use. Okay, yeah. I guess I technically missed out on a Surveil because I was going to Thunder Magic this guy no matter what. Blunder for sure. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 creatures in the graveyard. This could be bad. I'm going to ditch the land. If I draw a land, I'll play Garland with it. But I'm trying to draw my powerful spells like Kefka. Or Arden. Okay. If they're not flashing that back, then we're in trouble. But we're in trouble if they flash that back too. So it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario. So they have 14 power here. I think we're dead. But we got to 3 and 3, so. Oh, we're definitely dead now. Yeah, I think we're dead. Look at all the triggers. Yep. Unfortunate. But we were 0-2 and we rallied back to go 3 and 3. The deck was great. We won a game with Arden. We played Kefka one time. I think the deck was sweet, and I'm glad that Reid was able to help us draft it. It was a real fun one, and yeah, overall a great result. I mean, the games were not a great result, but the deck was a great result. So I think we had a really sweet one here, and sometimes it just doesn't work out perfectly. If we had had the Lionheart, we could have gone and fetched it up with our Godo and killed their traveling bird, which would have maybe been able to be better for us. But I think generally speaking, we had a pretty sweet one, and Gilgamesh to go get Warrior Sword is generally a fine line. But yeah, that was the deck. If you did enjoy having seeing Reid as a guest, let me know in the comment section down below. And to let me know you made it all the way to the end of the video, leave hashtag Duke in the comment section down below. It was such a pleasure having Reid Duke on as a guest. I loved being able to pick his brain about the format and draft a sweet deck with him, and also hear about Final Fantasy, which was pretty dang cool. That's going to do it for this one, though. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time.